Let's continue our series on personality disorders, and let's talk today about histrionic personality disorder. So, the term histrionic comes from the ancient term hysteria, which was used more than 3,000 years ago in medical texts and describes certain medical conditions typical of females. Over time, the meaning of the term has changed, and today it's practically falling out of use in the medical literature. Instead, today we use the scientific term histrionic personality disorder. So what is histrionic personality disorder? Let's look at the characteristics and symptoms. First one is excessive emotionality and over-dramatization and theatrics. Their emotional reactions tend to be out of proportion with the situation. 2 is attention-seeking behavior, which includes the use of provocative dressing and style. People with HPD are not comfortable with not being the center of attention. They like to exaggerate their stories, and they have inappropriate seductive behavior without any romantic context, and they like exhibitionism, like the Instagram thought phenomenon that we see today. They use simple language that lacks any detail or substance. They can be naive and simple-minded sometimes. From where comes the stereotype of the dumb blonde. And they're also easy to influence because they don't have any real values or strong convictions, which means they can be easily influenced and controlled by a strong authority figure. They try to be intimate with everyone, and they get bored easily by routines, so they always need excitement in their lives. These behaviors in and of themselves do not represent any real danger to themselves or to others, but they cause them great difficulties, especially in the realm of personal and romantic relationships. Their boredom with routine makes them susceptible to sabotage relationships by cheating and having affairs. They tend to play the victim a lot in the relationship. Because of this, their romantic partners become jealous and fed up with their behavior. Also, they can become the subject of jealousy from their friends, associates, and colleagues. This leads people with HPD to end up having severe depression or anxiety because of failed relationships. Histrionic personality disorder is egosyntonic, meaning that people with this condition behave this way without even being consciously aware of it. HPD is more linked with females than males. What causes histrionic disorder to arise is not clear, but many think that overindulgence by both parents and spoiling the child may be the cause, with some believing that one parent being more authoritarian than the other, usually the mother. HPD has a strong link with borderline personality disorder, since in the early years of the DSM they were both considered subtypes of the hysteric personality, with histrionic being considered the good functional hysterics in society, while the borderlines were considered the dysfunctional bad hysterics. The main difference between histrionic and borderline would be the anger and the self-destructive behavior present in BPD but not in HPD. And although the two personalities like to idealize someone, only borderlines go through the idealize and devalue cycle. HPD also share common characteristics with the other cluster B personality types. Like antisocials, they also like to manipulate, but their manipulative behavior is for attention, whereas for the antisocial, it's for power and personal gain. Also, their attention-seeking behavior is similar to that of narcissists, but narcissists only want attention that shows their superiority, whereas histrionic subjects don't care if they seem weak as long as they get the attention. Comorbidities of HPD include dependence disorders, depression, anxiety, panic disorders, substance use, and anorexia, to name a few. There are 6 proposed subtypes of HPD, and these include the appeasing type, who sacrifice their needs to appease the needs of others. There's also the vivacious histrionic. These ones are very energetic and seductive with narcissistic tendencies. There's the tempestuous histrionic. These ones are impulsive and out of control. They complain a lot and their energy is usually negative. Then there's the disingenuous histrionic. This type has mixed antisocial tendencies. They scheme and manipulate and are very calculating. There's also the theatrical histrionic type, which is the stereotypical image of the hysteric, with their over-emotional reactions and their excessive focus on appearance. And finally, we have the infantile type. This type has many shared traits with the borderline personality disorder type. They're high-strung, very demanding, excessively attached and clingy, and they tend to pout and throw temper tantrums like children when they don't get what they want. So these were the subtypes. Tell me which one you identify with the most. People with HPD usually seek therapy after a bad breakup. In therapy, patients with HPD want to please the therapist, which leads them to fake their progress and improvement in order to gain validation from their therapist. They behave in this way in every relationship, where they see the other person as an authority figure. The reality is that no progress has been made in therapy, and usually they break down around the end of therapy. And it's only after that breakdown that real change and improvement begins to occur. Some people in the psychological research community believe that HPD is outdated and should stop being classified as a personality disorder. I think personally that this personality disorder has become normalized in popular culture and Western society, instead of the disorder giving the impression that it doesn't exist anymore. In fact, it has become so common and accepted in today's culture that people stopped even noticing it or caring about it, since it doesn't seem to be a very dangerous personality disorder to have in today's liberal society compared to the conservative societies of the previous generations. So that's the end of our video on histrionic personality disorder. I'm gonna continue making videos on the personality disorder series, but if you have any other mental health topic that you want me to make a video